Okay, all right, so the camera's not working, but you should be able to hear this video. Today I'm just going to go over the car loan and some sensitivity analysis. Okay. Okay, so when you're in D2L, okay, so here's the course. I'm going to jump into the course. Now for this one, the car loan assignment, okay, it's just in its own file. So I click on it and then I'm going to click on download. Okay, I've saved this as an Excel file. Okay. So again, you're just going to go to, after downloading it, okay? Now, because I'm doing this the second time, you don't have to do this. Just open, if you've already done this, I'm just going to call it car loan 2 because I'm going over it again. Okay, so I'm going to cut it and I'm going to go to my cloud and I'm going to paste it in to my folder, this course, okay? Paste. Okay, so here it is here. Now from yesterday, okay, so this is just kind of a scenario you might do just for yourself at home, trying to figure out, hey, could I afford this car? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Maybe you have a budget. Okay, so first thing I do is I figure out my number of payments. That's just my term in times of year, time my number of payments. Now, these payments are monthly. Okay, could be bi-weekly, it could be quarterly, a lot of different times, but most of the time, car loan is paid monthly. Okay. So the next thing you want to do is you want to calculate your monthly payment equals PMT bracket. So it's my interest rate, but I have to divide that by my term of 1 year, which is 12 months. Okay. And then comma, and then my number of payments, which I calculated here to be 60, comma, and then for my principal amount, okay, so I'm just going to use negative because there's a glitch in Excel, and I just the bracket, and that's going to be my payment. Now, for my extra payment, I'm just going to leave this as 0 for now for the first one. Okay, so term is just going to be 1, and I'm just going to go equals this cell plus 1. Okay, and I'll be able to fill it down. Okay, for my balance, it's going to go equals my 35,000 to start. Now my payment, I'm going to go equals, and I'm going to click on this cell, but I'm going to do something extra. I'm going to absolute cell reference it by hitting F4. Okay, does everybody see that? Yeah, I shouldn't see anybody on anything else right now. Okay, hit enter. Okay, so next I need to calculate my interest payment part of the payment because your payment is divided up into two different things. Okay, it's not only your interest payment, but your principal as well. So in order to figure out my interest payment, I'm just going to go equals my payment times my interest rate. Okay, and I always want to use this cell, so I hit F4 divided by, okay, my 12, and I also want to keep using this. I'm going to hit that. Okay, so hit enter. Okay, so if something doesn't work out right, okay, just go back. Okay, so 7%. Okay, here, let me try this again. Okay, so it's so my interest part of this term. So I'm going to use my balance of 35,000. Okay, times, okay, my 7% hit F4 divided by, okay, 12, hit F4, hit enter. Okay, so it's 204. Okay, so make sure for the interest part of the payment, you're using your balance, not your payment. Okay, so if I know this is my interest part, so my payment minus my interest payment gives me my principal payment, what's actually coming off the loan. Okay, so which is 488 for the extra payment. I'm just going to go equals, and I'm just going to hit F4 so I can copy it down. Okay, so in order to take off your principal, I'm just going to go equals this plus this here. My ending balance is this amount. Take my balance, take away this amount here. Okay, so equals this, take away this. okay? Which means my new balance for the next term is going to be my ending balance of my last term, okay? All right, so if you've done everything properly, okay, I'm going to copy this down to 60, and it should equal 0, okay? You just copy it down, okay? So that's 60 there. And then after that, you should be able to copy everything down. Okay, payment amount's not going to change. The interest is not going to change. Okay. And this is known as fill. Okay, so you take your mouse, you go over the box, and you just fill it down. Okay. So this is an important skill. Okay. Even if you're not going to take accounting after this course, something that you could use. Okay. All right. Now it's 0. So see how it's 0 here? That means I've done this properly. Okay. So another thing that you can do with Excel is you can copy pages. Okay. You can copy a page. So notice this is car loan. So I might double click on it and call this base. Okay. And then if I want to copy this page, I right click on it and click on copy. And you got to click this box here. Notice this is the only one, create a copy. Okay. And then you maybe pull this extra payment. Okay. So we have my car loan base here. Here's my extra payment. Okay. So let's say I pay an extra $200 per month, and you can kind of see how much faster, okay, you'd pay it off. Okay. So, right. So here's a year and a bit. Okay. So if you put an extra payment now, if you're like, you know what, that new car, okay, I can't afford it because the payment's too much. Okay. So you can go over copy. We'll go with the base one, create a copy. Okay. Here's my copy. Maybe you want to extend the term. Okay. So by extending the term, we're going to make the term a little bit longer. So instead of paying it off in 5 years, okay, maybe we pay it off in 7. Okay. So we change that, which means this needs to go to 7 years. Okay. And then you can kind of fill this down. Okay? And this is what we call sensitivity. Okay. So here, further. Until we pay it off to 0. Okay. So if you notice that when we extend the term, okay, okay, so 84 after 84 months, we'll have it paid to 0. Okay, but when we extend the term, okay, for 2 more years, notice my payment comes down. Okay, so you can always extend the term of a loan and your term will come and your payment will come down. Okay, but some people like longer terms and a smaller payment. Some people might want shorter term with a bigger payment based on your financial position, based on what you can afford to pay back. Okay, so what I'd like you guys to do is just work on this, okay? So practice getting the base down, okay? Maybe copy and paste that page once you get the base down, do an extra payment, and you can either extend the term, or if you want to shorten the term, or do both, okay? You can play around with sensitivity of a car loan. Okay, does that make sense? We do?